Well, Florida's racist again. Here's the new hoax. They say Florida schools are teaching students that slavery was good for blacks.
Free housing, permanent employment, and all-you-can-eat cornbread. Board of Education in Florida wants you to see that job description and think, you know, maybe slavery wasn't so bad.
If you're going to say there were benefits to slavery, then you're going to say there were benefits to women being property and subject to abuse and subject to home enslavement.
It is not only insulting, it is humiliating.
Oh, I know, Jesse, you don't have to fact-check every racial hoax from MSNBC, and I usually don't. If I did, I'd do it for the whole hour. But now that the vice president is involved, Kamala Harris, I got to do it. So here's how it got started. Florida's Board of Ed came out with their new Black history curriculum. Primetime looked at the curriculum. It's rigorous, it's in depth, it should be like that. It covers the darkest parts of American history, how slaves were shackled and trafficked from Africa, broken by their masters, and forced into atrocious conditions. But that's not all it covers. It's a brutally honest depiction of American slavery, the institution, and therefore covers slavery from the perspective of the slave instead of just from the perspective of the master. The curriculum includes how black slaves were able to use their experience, in some cases, to make their brutally hard lives better. The course examines the various duties and trades performed by slaves like agricultural work, painting, carpentry, tailoring, domestic service, blacksmithing, transportation. Instruction includes how slaves developed skills which, in some instances, could be applied for their personal benefit. That's the section everyone's freaking out about, especially Kamala Harris.
Just yesterday in the state of Florida, they decided middle school students will be taught that enslaved people benefited from slavery. They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not stand for it.
No one is arguing slaves benefited from slavery. No one is saying that. It's not true. They're teaching how black people developed skills during slavery in some instances that could be applied for their own personal benefit. I mean, Kamala, don't you know what Florida's teaching its students? The two people who wrote Florida's African-American history curriculum, two African-American PhDs, are standing by it. Here's what they say. Any attempt to reduce slaves to just victims of oppression fails to recognize their strength, courage, and resilience during a difficult time in American history. Florida students deserve to learn how slaves took advantage of whatever circumstances they were in to benefit themselves and the community of African descendants. But Kamala Harris, again today, even after this has been explained, attacked Florida.
We are imperfect. And we must be honest about that to understand then our history, where we've been, and then have a North Star in terms of where we must go.
We agree. We have to be honest. American history is complicated, and it's worth having a conversation about, especially about how to teach it, as long as we can all agree to the full story. But we can't have an honest conversation with the likes of Kamala Harris or the likes of MSNBC. They don't want an honest conversation. Why is Kamala Harris so dishonest about how black history is taught? Is she ignorant and hasn't read the curriculum? Is she just being handed talking points by staff? Or does she not want African-American history taught this way? Does she not want students to learn how resilient and capable black Americans were during slavery and afterwards? What is Kamala Harris hiding?
What they are doing is they are creating these unnecessary debates. This is unnecessary to debate whether enslaved people benefited from slavery. Are you kidding me? Are we supposed to debate that?
Horace Cooper is the author of Chairman of Project 21. All right, so Horace, do you think Kamala Harris knows the curriculum at all and some staffer just told her to say what she's saying?
Well, first, let me say thank you for having me on in this week of your new time. And secondly, this reminds me of the Don't Say Gay bill, where we completely mischaracterize for our own purposes what is happening in the state of Florida. I don't believe the vice president cares. I don't believe the vice president is interested in the truth about the curriculum. The vice president is more interested in creating a wedge. It is essential that if we have courses on America's history, that we tell the whole story. And the whole story about slavery is one that slavery began eons before the existence of America. It's also true that from 1500 to 1700, there were more Europeans being held as slaves than there were blacks. It's also true that it was unjust and unfair when it happened in America. But America, like the whole Western society, ultimately rejected it. And now to be black is to be an American, one of the most successful opportunities for any human being on the planet.
It's interesting that you can say that, and Kamala Harris, I don't think, believes that. Do you think Kamala Harris believes the real history of American slavery, or is she just ignoring it in order to score points?
Well, of course she's trying to score points. You mentioned the resilience of people. Black Americans have been highly resilient, just like the pioneers that came to this country. Black Americans, even during the depravity of slavery, were able to take the skills that they had to acquire assets and resources that they often used to pay, to free their spouses or the mother of their children, or even some of their children. In fact, a real narrative of slavery in America will also mention that some 10 to 12% of all slaveholders in America from 1790 to 1850 were black. Again, we need a whole story, not one that divides us.
Yep, can't be afraid of history. Horace, thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.